Okay.
Look at you, got a big one. Let's.
Betsy's got it.
Salute the flag. Come on, you guys ready?
Okay.
Everybody stand. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag, United States of America,
America.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all. Okay. While everybody's standing, I just would like to make a mention that Nancy became a grandma today.
Yay! Woo!
Good. You want to give them the news, Nance?
I think they already know.
Oh. Okay.
I told him before, his name is Asher John Sipes, 8 pounds, 1 ounce, and 21 and a half inches long. Everyone's doing well.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just wondering, Jeanette, are you on?
No, it's here.
Jeanette Barrett had texted me a few minutes ago and asked for the meeting number, and I gave her the information, but I guess maybe she didn't get it. I don't know. But anyway, we'll move right on. So I guess we'll just start now with, I just want to say, with these challenging times, we will not be having a public meeting. We, the board, are meeting tonight through a Zoom meeting on our computers at our homes. It is being recorded as normal by Declan Radio, and we will be available for listeners on YouTube. Just like it normally is, it's just a little different circumstances here, and I know we all know this, but people that will listen don't know. So I just wanted to say that. So next, I'd like to know if everybody had a chance to review the minutes from March 16th.
Yes.
Yes.
I so move.
Okay, Neil moved. Did we need a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
I put Donna's second on that, guys. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next, I just want to say that we will be waiving public comment due to the circumstances. If anyone has any questions, concerns, or information when you listen to this on YouTube, please don't hesitate to contact us by email, text, or phone, and we will get back to you with whatever questions or information you have. Next would be Randy with Highways and Buildings.
Okay. First thing, because of the COVID, we have reduced the workforce as much as possible. We're down to 2 men on Monday doing garbage, and then they go home. We have 2 men on recycling on Tuesday, and then they go home. Myself and Dan Yoder is doing the second garbage pickup per week on Thursday, and then we either go home or last week we graded and raked Gilmantown. Also, because the transfer station is closed on Friday and Saturday now, Elizabeth is going home, only working Monday through Thursday. All their hours are being 40 hours a week as normal from the town. And as far as the payroll, we're keeping things separate, but in hopes that the government somewhere reimburses us through either FEMA or whatever. That brings up many questions because the village speculator, inlet, and some of Hope, Benson, and Wells are keeping guys on throughout the week. I say some. Hope and Wells are limited men. They're foremen and one other person, but Inlet has their entire crew working, and I believe Benson is also.
Randy, excuse me, how's the county doing it?
County is keeping their road foremans on, which is Chris Mitchell, Greg Boyer, and a couple guys up north. Plus their garbage haulers are working and then going home. And because of that, they're keeping their mechanics on also, which is 1 or 2 at each shop. 1 in our shop, 2 in Indian Lake, and 1 in Long Lake. So greatly reduced also, obviously. But 4 or 5 of them are not there this week in the Lake Pleasant shop. So I sent out the emails. Sorry, Neil, that you didn't get that.
I since got it. No, I just, it was my own glitch, but I appreciate you resending it.
Okay. The newest, what I told you in that email that I just sent you, the newest update is a highway department down south of here. It didn't give the name, it just said in the southern area. This is coming from Cornell. One of their workers got the COVID from another family member, and then didn't realize it, then came to work. Then when they were diagnosed with it, every one of the highway departments had to be quarantined for 2 weeks. So now the neighboring towns are picking up whatever they can to help that town out. So that put them in a very unique situation where the entire highway department had to go home.
Wow.
Quarantine, just because they didn't know. So going back on what I said about in that email that I could keep them busy and so on and so forth, that's all fine and dandy as long as nobody gets sick.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody gets sick, now we're in a bit of a situation.
Yeah, I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I think that for the next 2 weeks, if we can hold out, if you can hold out vis-a-vis workload, I think it'd be better for you to stay doing what you're doing than end up having them, even passing in the night, having all 7, 8, 9 guys having any time together in the break rooms or anything like that. It just minimizes it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What about rotating the guys that are doing what you just mentioned they're doing right now, so that it's not always the same guys working and the others not?
I can do that. And without a doubt, I can do that. Or I could go back to the 2 men on per day, Monday through Friday, which I started out doing. 2 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But if it comes into the shop, and for whatever reason, as Nancy stated, our shop is not exactly hospital clean.
Oh, Randy.
All 10 of us are back in there.
You think the germs will live there?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not so sure about that. But I just don't know. I've never been up against this.
None of us
I really don't know.
have. None of us have. You're doing a great job, and I just I wouldn't give in to pressure. I know I have had not one person second guess us as employers for paying our people while not, actually using them 40 hours. I think that's just prudent.
Yeah, a couple people commented to me, but what they were saying was that they asked if the guys were still getting paid, and I said, yes, they are, and they said, good.
Oh, that's good. That's good input.
Yeah.
So let me just ask this question, because I think we're all in the same boat. None of us want to take the chance of our guys getting sick and infecting their families or anybody else. So do we want to just kind of take a vote here so that Randy knows how the whole board feels and that everybody's behind his decision?
Yeah,
Would you feel good with that?
I'd like to put my 2 cents worth in for a minute.
Sure.
There was a thing on, I think it was on Facebook the other day, from Sheila Jazabowski Kraus, and she mentioned that she had put a bunch of little teddy bears on the pathway, and she was encouraging the kids and stuff to walk the pathway and find the teddy bears as kind of a something to do, some way to get some exercise and stuff. I walked the pathway today, and there's 2 spots on it, right in the beginning of the first boardwalk and the beginning of the second, that are really bad. And I think it would be good maybe if just a couple guys came in, somebody with a little carpentry experience, they could fix it up so it was passable. It's passable, but not real passable. Fix it up, just to make do. The one spot is raised in a joint about, I'd say a good foot, because it's on top of the port. And all that has to be done is moved over, and I think to make it safe, we need to do that kind of stuff, because if it gets wet and slippery, somebody's going to fall.
So Don, is this something you feel that just one person can do? Because I'd hate to see Randy send two on a project like that.
Yeah, it could be, but it's got to be somebody with a little experience to be able to get it back together again. Yeah, I would say somebody has
The
carpentry
thing about
experience.
sending one person out on a job, if he gets hurt, there's nobody
Yep.
to help him.
Well, there's no power tools involved other than an electric drill, a cordless drill, really.
No, but what about picking up the section of boardwalk and moving it over?
A jack, you use a jack.
That'll be done with Jack's. I'll go down and take a look at it, Don.
Okay.
That's the best.
We'll go from there.
Okay.
I can easily either bring one person in or do it myself, or if it's something that it's not that huge. It's not like the whole section is floated down the stream.
No, it's just in one spot, it's picked up and the things that rest on kind of floated out.
Right.
And the other spot, it's up, lifted up and it's up onto support, so it's not down where it should be.
How's the water there? Because the water is usually really high this time of year.
Everything's dry in these two spots. You should be able to work and stay dry.
Randy, another question. Are you still got a supply of masks?
At this point, that was the next thing on my list. We've used half of what Betsy got us, which was 20, so we're down to 10. So, two a day for the guys. It's 6.
Go fast, yeah.
They're going faster than I expected, but
Okay, I'll contact Erica and try to get more, Randy.
yeah, I mean, depending on if this goes another month, we're going to need another 24, 30 of them.
I only bring that up because if it is a job where two men would work better, they keep their distance and wear masks when they're send them down in two vehicles and masks when they're working at either end of the thing. I think that helps.
Correct.
Okay, I'll work on the masks, Randy.
Okay.
So Betsy, would you like a motion for a vote of confidence on the superintendent's choice here?
I really would, because I feel that this should be a board decision and it shouldn't all be on Randy's shoulders.
Well,
So,
the part I would like to do is to give him the flexibility to do it, but make it understood that the whole board, or at least whomever votes for this, would be supportive of full pay, irrespective of the rotation, irrespective of who may end up doing some of that at home. And I would so move, paraphrasing that.
do we have a second?
I'll second.
I need to discuss it a little bit more before we vote. Randy, do you know what you're going to do yet? Or are you just kind of feeling your way each
Well,
day?
at this point in time, I'm going to keep it just to 3 days, and then whatever I need. I drove around all the roads today, including one of them I probably shouldn't have been on. It's Claren Road, and there's a couple washouts here and there that I'm going to have to get filled in. But that's one guy in a backhoe, one guy in a loader, so they'll be separated, that way. And I do have to take a couple signs down and such, but that's, like I said, one person here and there.
Okay, so you want to continue with this 3 days a week?
Yeah, I'm going to stay with the 3 days a week as long as I can. At some point in time, the FEMA thing is, with the Halloween storm, I think they're talking in 2 weeks having an inspection. So before that, once I find out when that inspection is going to be, I have to sweep the road. So we can see where the blacktop isn't, so on and so forth.
I'd like to make this motion the exactly 2 weeks. That for the next 2 weeks, you have the flexibility and the approval, the support of the board to, regardless of full pay, to spread out your workers for their safety.
Okay, as thin as possible.
Yeah.
I'll second that. I don't know where I went. My picture is dark.
We got you.
Yeah, oh,
We
okay.
had a motion in a second, and
No, I have no picture on mine. That's what I was wondering if, can you guys see me?
yep, I see you, but you're not moving.
You're not moving.
Oh,
You're frozen.
uh-oh.
Jump
Chris is
around a little.
frozen as well. Okay, so
So-
all in favor?
I
Okay, so,
Aye.
so just for the record, you were saying for the next 2 weeks, the board is giving Randy the flexibility, of what he thinks is best, keeping it at 3 days, and keeping his men separated. And when do you want to start this next 2 weeks? Are we starting, being that, you want us Monday to Monday?
Yeah, from now until our next meeting.
From now to when?
Our next meeting?
No. That's gonna be another topic in
Okay.
itself. But
Okay,
2 weeks,
Okay.
that's all I need.
2 weeks.
Okay,
2 weeks.
thank you.
Let's not get too specific.
okay, all right. Okay, so, okay, anything else, Randy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, we discussed everything but the mechanics position. That's on my list. We had one applicant, and then they found out that we're nowhere near Yonkers.
Really?
They texted me back and said they would not be making the appointment for the interview.
Yeah.
The budget committee talked at one point in time of bringing in some of the current employees or offering it to some of the current employees. I offered it to 4 of them, and they all reneged on the offer. None of them wanted to adventure into this. Even when one of them remotely wanted to and then opted out anyways. I offered some of the training, some professional welding classes, so on and so forth, and they still did not have any interest in it. So, that being said, we're back at square one. We discussed bringing the rate of pay up to $21 an hour. And now we need to advertise that, I would believe is the next step, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So that would be we're still doing the Facebook thing, or do we want to put it in the local paper? What do we want to do?
Randy, is there a trade magazine or a trade website that we're missing?
I haven't seen one that has job offerings in it. The website that Chris moved for the 4 colleges gave the colleges, but it was just a universal phone number for each one of them. And right now that they're down, everybody's closed, so nothing has to be answered. Or,
Tough time.
Got to make it much harder.
Yes.
2 of them have acted on the information, the other 2 haven't yet.
okay.
So,
Oh,
not much we can do.
no, I mean, we're up against it as far as communicating with colleges. Sure.
Yeah, I was surprised to find there were only 4 diesel mechanic schools in the state.
Well, that's pretty much what I am a graduate of Alfred being one of them.
Right.
And way back when, there wasn't that many. So, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I wonder if we could, find a diesel mechanic and tap his brain. I mean, does Malcolm know of any trade magazines, do you know? Because that's a good idea.
Well, even if it was an online publication or communication, and
Yeah.
It's just said the meeting will end in 10 minutes.
I think we may have to set up another meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's move on, Randy. What's the outcome of this?
All I say is, if that's going to be the set rate, we need to get it out there and advertise it.
Okay. Where do you want to advertise?
Well, we were doing Facebook and our town website, and I think we ought to do some newspapers or something that would change the rate of pay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to reach out further.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
All right, so where do you want it advertised, Randy?
Albany, Utica, see if anybody wants to move here.
Yeah.
Yeah, now should be a good time to
Move out of the
express
city.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So what do you want, the Times Union?
Yeah.
Times Union,
I don't know what papers in Utica.
Observer Dispatch.
Okay.
Is it possible we only have 8 minutes left on our meeting?
Yes.
I don't know. And
Yeah,
I'm not
losing
even
Yep.
showing up now. Yeah, remaining, it says eight minutes.
Can we just dial up again in 8 minutes and just start it up again, or no?
We could try.
Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and place,
Well, here.
I'll place the same ad that I placed before, with Times Union and Observer Dispatch, and saying starting pay is $21 an hour. But with the same ad,
Do it.
That's fine by me.
okay,
Yes.
Do we need a motion for that?
please.
I thought we'd already
We
done
need a
this.
motion.
I mean, we're,
Make a motion.
I guess we had a motion already at one point in time to advertise, so it's up to you whether you want to move it as a,
We authorized the budget committee to raise the salary and
Right.
find money in the budget and then to advertise.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, so that's just a reporting from the budget committee, okay?
Okay, all set. Okay, so old business, the BTI is going well. Vi, Bill, and Mark have been out for a couple of weeks. With the water levels being so high this year, they're going through more material than normal. Vi asked me to order more, which I did, and it will be in this week. I'm having it delivered to my home, being the town hall is closed. Next, Nance, you want to report on the AUD?
I reached out to Linda from VST. She's the one who was working with Kathy, and she seems very personable and very nice. She took a bunch of information she's going to look over, and we put our heads together on a couple of items, and I haven't heard back from her. That was last week, and she's working at home also.
Okay, great. Okay, speaking of BST, I did contact them and I spoke to Paul Goetz, and we put the audit on hold. He said that was no problem until later on in the year. So that's behind us for now. Okay, all department heads have written down passwords to get in their computers and all passwords for their programs. They put them in sealed envelopes and they are kept in Debbie's vault in a blue folder in a fireproof cabinet on the right-hand side as you go in the vault for safekeeping. That's done. Debbie, do you want to report on local law too?
Quickly, so with this crazy thing that's been going on, I'm asking the board to see if we can hold a public hearing for local law number 2 at our next board meeting at 7:30. I will advertise it in the newspaper. I will also put it in my shadow box, but I'm kind of hoping to move this along as quickly as possible. And I felt by announcing it today at our meeting that we will hold the public hearing at our next board meeting at 7:30. I don't know how else to do it, if we're gonna have a open meeting or not at that point in time, but I figured by announcing it tonight and posting it, that should be sufficient, if everybody's in agreement of that.
Yeah, and if we're still on Zoom,
Yeah,
we'll just have to figure out how to make it readily available to a larger audience.
well,
If that happens,
so,
okay, how the county did it this past week, Bill Farber and one other person sat in a supervisor's chambers and ran the meeting from there so that it was open to the public to come in, and everybody else was on Zoom.
Yeah, they can socially distance.
And absolutely, in this way, the office will be open if anybody wants to come in.
Perfect.
Work out?
so Betsy,
Sounds good.
so Betsy, you and I will be at the board meeting at the town hall for the local law?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for the local law. Okay. New business. What I would like to do is I would like to cancel our next scheduled board meeting for April 20th due to this virus. I'm trying to be very optimistic, saying that the meeting of May 4th, we will be able to meet in social distance. If not, then we'll have to do another Zoom meeting. If this was possible and you all agree, we would have a bill paying. Nancy would have the bills all done and on the table at Town Hall by April 23rd. Discussion?
Works for me.
Yeah, I think it's kind of easier than this rushing like this.
Yeah, this is kind of tough.
Half the boards in the county only meet once a month as well.
Absolutely, and honestly, there's a lot of other towns that do have twice a month that they've actually canceled. Some of them aren't even meeting
Right.
to do business because of this.
Could I just get a resolution that I can advertise, please, for that local law?
I'll move.
Is that you, Nancy?
That's me.
Okay. Second?
I'll second. Okay,
Who's that? Who seconded?
I'll second it.
Betsy? Okay, great.
Betsy.
I just wanted to get that legit. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor on that local law?
Aye.
Thank you.
Anyone opposed? Okay, as everybody knows, Nancy is working from home full-time. Debbie is working both in the office and home due to tax time. Faith came in this week to work on court paperwork. The three of us are doing business as usual. The phones are checked on a daily basis, as well as the mail being picked up and checking Debbie's drop box outside her office. A quick library report. Karen has been working on the annual report and will have it to us shortly. Laura O'Connor has turned in her resignation from the library board. There are presently 2 openings on the board. If you know anyone that is interested, please have them contact Sherry or Karen. And Nancy, did you have anything to report from the library board?
No, where the library board canceled its meeting for tomorrow, so we just passed reports to each other by email.
Bethany, I think you missed, under old business, you have a number 6, county doing payroll and reports.
Oh, I did, Chris. That's because I was trying to move along so fast.
I know.
Thank you. Where the heck is it? Okay, yes, the county. What they've decided is, with them being such short-staffed, they want to wait till the end of April to see where we are with this coronavirus before they take over. I've talked to Nancy. Nancy has agreed to stay on till the end of April. And we'll go from that point on. The county does plan on taking it on temporarily till Kathy can get back, but they're just concerned about doing it now with being so short-staffed. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Chris, for that. Okay, so next we need a motion to pay the bills for both abstracts.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No?
Okay, round table. Who wants to start? Neil?
Well, I'll send out some emails on some things, but the most important thing, I think, has anyone received anything in the mail on the census?
No.
I have. I
You seem to be behind.
had one on my door, in a plastic bag, and I filled it out and sent it back.
Walking around. That means they're walking around and hung it on.
This was a couple weeks ago.
Can I say something
Yes.
about that? We've got less than a minute. But Florence was a census enumerator, and they got told to stop doing what they were doing. So it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I got nothing in the mail even.
No, so I think it's online on the computer, on the internet, that you can go and.
Yeah, but you need some kind of code, I think it
You
said.
need a code. Why it hasn't come in the mail is beyond me.
I got mine in the mail. I got online and filled it out.
Okay, I'm still
I got a
waiting.
card in the mail and did the same, Chris.
All right, so maybe they're on their way.
They are. Just to quickly mention, the county lost the grant that they had gotten for the census due to this coronavirus. But it looks like they may be a letter. Different towns have offered that for their town, if the county puts it all together and mails it out, they'll pay the bill. I told them we were doing ours on our own, as we had initially planned a month ago. And I left it at that. Everybody comfortable still with that? Okay. Okay, so Then we
And
were,
the census, I never got a postcard, so I'm hoping we get something.
Nor I. The reason I was concerned, and I cut my comment shortly, the gal who came and presented in front of us a month and a half ago at one of our town board meetings mentioned to Jeff that at the gym that oh no, you're not, you probably won't get a card because people who have you have to have a street address. If you have a post office box, we're not mailing cards to them. We're going to call on their houses. And I thought, how could that be any more backwards?
Wait a minute, so you're saying that if you have a P.O. box, they're not gonna mail it to you, they're gonna go to your house?
This is third hand,
Oh,
but you know the girl I'm talking about from Camp of the Woods?
Rachel.
Rachel, thank you. Rachel reiterated it to Jeff twice, that some people won't get cards, they'll just get visits. But she made it sound to him, the ones who won't get the cards are post office box people, and I thought, they could just bulk mail a card, put them in each box, and be done with it. Because like someone said as we were being punched off the clock there, you can't do the thing online, I tried, unless you have the ID code, which comes
absolutely.
with the card. And
Now-
the girl also said that because of the coronavirus, that they were back about a couple of weeks, kind of what Don said. Well, I don't understand why a mailing should be slowed down at all. The face-to-face, perhaps, but the mailing is critical. You can't do anything without it.
Yes, but they're not mailing to post office boxes.
Yeah, I find this, that's about all of us, and why?
Right.
You know, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and
It's
Don-
easier to mail to a post office box. They could do bulk mailing, and one postmistress could put it in 50, 100, 200 boxes, like that.
And we
Is there
got,
a-
go ahead, Nancy.
Is there an assigned, Don, do you know if there's an assigned number for each individual home? Or is it just willy-nilly, whoever gets, when you get the postcard? Like
Florence
did
answered
Florence have a set route and she would have to put it on set houses with a code assigned to that home?
He has a set route with very strict guidelines. They had 2 days of training, 8-hour
Wow.
days of training on how to go to houses and put on the doorknob. But this is the federal government, so
Right.
it's not going to be. We're kind of on our own in Hamilton County because of the 2.8 people per square mile rather than the 6 million like in New York. And the whole thing is just, it seems, it's just a big mess, I think. Especially now with the corona, because 2 weeks ago, they called up and I answered the phone and Florence was out putting them on doorknobs and delivering, and they said, as soon as your wife gets back, tell her to stop. And that was it.
and did she listen
But
to
they
you,
did
Don?
give them set routes every day to go on.
Wow.
No. The
Okay,
message.
So let's kind of wrap that up. We were starting to go into roundtable. Neil, you had mentioned the census. Nance, do you have anything?
No.
No. Randy?
No, that's about it. I'll let you know more about the FEMA stuff as far as the Halloween storm later on.
Okay. Chris?
Chris isn't here.
Oh, there she is.
She's here.
I don't have her little, there she is. Yeah, now I see her.
Hi, Don.
Hi.
I just wondered, Betsy, are you aware that Jay is on your town supervisor's email account?
My husband?
Yeah. I got an email from you today, and it shows both of you being on that account.
You probably got that from the Oxbow Lake Motel.
Oh, I don't know.
It was my Oxbow Lake Motel.
Okay.
That's why Jay was on it. My supervisor one is just me.
Okay. I guess
Yeah,
I.
Pete set that one up, right?
Yes, Pete said that.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to touch base with you on that.
Yep. Deb,
Oh,
do you have?
there was one other thing that I wanted to mention. If the Hamilton County Treasurer's Office does end up taking over our account clerk functions, that would be shared services. And the state of New York would pay to Lake Pleasant a one-time payment of the difference between the two costs. So just so you're aware of that, because that will offset probably most of the expense.
Really?
So wait a minute,
Yeah.
so you're saying that the Hamilton County Treasurers will, because it's shared services, they'll assume how much of the cost on that, Chris?
It says that New York State will take the difference between Kathy's compensation
Yep,
and what we're paying the county, and they will pay it to the town one time.
It's a one-time thing. I
okay.
didn't know that was still around, Chris, and that's
Great.
good to mine that out. But yeah, they've been pushing for this ASME municipal shared services thing for a long time. That could be a big help.
Yeah.
Good job, Chris.
Thank you.
Very good. Absolutely. Debbie, do you have anything?
Just to give you an update on what's going on with the courts, Judge Smith was in, Judge Purdy, of course, was not available, so she was updating both computers that we now will be able to have Skype on our court computers, just in case we have to do some type of an arraignment with the state troopers in the future.
That's legal?
It's
Wow.
legal, yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, but it would be a more serious arraignment, something
Yeah.
with incarceration or something like going on, but, so, yeah, otherwise our courts,
Those right now.
the courts are closed. I mean, Faith came in the other day and we processed all the checks and stuff going in. I'm still collecting taxes, so I'm still waiting for the last of the last to come in, and then I will be turning over my taxes via mail and a check to the treasurer's office. It will not be going up there in person.
That's it.
So, that's it.
Don, do you have anything?
No, I was just concerned about the pathway, but we already discussed that.
Okay.
Good.
What about the kids handling the bears?
He instructed them not to touch them. They're supposed to take a picture of them when they find them, but not touch them.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. I only found 3.
Well, you must be good to the ground.
Were they wet?
It doesn't work if you touch them.
No, I did not.
I bet you did.
Take them home, Don. The whole thing's fixed. Bears are not supposed to.
Oh, I had another question.
Okay.
Do you by any chance know what the balance was in the health savings account after all the bills for last year were flushed through it?
The
Do you know that?
consolidated health you're talking?
No, the health savings
No.
account. The health sa-
Didn't they give us a quote? Didn't they give us an update on that last year? Last month?
In December, we got a figure.
Right.
But it was pointed out then that not all the bills would be in yet. So I figured, well, we're at the end of the first quarter of the year. Maybe they are all in now. So I was just wondering what the balance was in that account. Because that was one of the reasons, if you remember, that we went with it.
Yeah,
because
and I gotta be honest with you. I have a feeling, Nancy. I think maybe you and I might have gone over this, but I'm not sure. But I'll follow up with that. Was that we were in debt because we ended up
Yes.
adding another person. And yeah, so we ended up like minus. We had no grounds to stand on for this
boy.
But that's because
Yeah, I was working with you on that.
yeah,
Yes,
okay, you
you're
was you,
correct.
Betsy. Okay.
Yes.
I can find a copy of that for you, Chris. But because we ended up adding somebody on there, that it didn't work to our advantage this time around. Is
Okay.
kind of what I'm
That's
thinking.
really disappointing.
Maybe whenever we do have our next meeting, if you get us a copy of that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I will.
I'd like to see that myself.
Okay, I just want to mention that Nancy and Chris have been fantastic between the Facebook page and our website. Any updates that we're getting from the county nursing, they're putting on. Sometimes it's like a daily basis, it's at least 3-4 times a week. County nursing has been working around the clock. Every day we get an update on the count in our county, throughout the county. Right now, we only have one case within the county. There's been 16 tested and 15 have been negative. So that's really good. So that's showing us that social distancing is really helping.
Do we have any idea in what section of the county it is?
No, that's against the HIPAA laws.
Well, the name is, but I would think that,
The supervisor of the town gets a call that it's in their town. When this all first started, I had gotten a call that we had 3 in quarantine. That was within the first week, and by the end of the week, two were still self-quarantined and 1 was negative. It was the flu. But that's all I knew, and I'm not allowed to share that. They're just telling me so that if somehow the word gets out, I can contact nursing and they can handle it. It's very delicate. It's we'd rather the county nursing that, they're educated, they know what to say, what to do in these situations. So no, we don't know. We're best just to leave it as vague as we can in that aspect. If it was in our town, I would say we have 1 in our town and that would be it, but we don't at this point, so.
okay.
I did get a very inspiring letter, and I'd really like to read it to you. Dear Town Board members, I've attached a copy of a letter from the Lake Pleasant Park Board to all its members, letting them know that we will be postponing our opening this year. It is because we so love our summer home at the lake that we want to do whatever it takes to keep our summer neighbors safe and well. Let's hope we can all get back to a worry-free time soon. Sincerely, Mary Thuman.
Yep.
This is the letter, and I really want to read this, that they sent out to all their people, all their folks. Dear fellow members, we are in the midst of extraordinary times. It seems each day brings more incredible news, none of it good. And we are all practicing the recommended guidelines from the CDC and our state health departments in an effort to keep ourselves and others safe. The concept of keeping ourselves and our families safe is something that we've always understood and followed. But fighting this new virus asks us to do our part to keep total strangers safe as well. It puts a social responsibility on each and every one of us to do our part. Hamilton County and the town of Lake Pleasant have asked those of us with second homes up in the Adirondacks to please reconsider visiting during the pandemic. We've copied their health bulletin on the back of this letter. It points out the fact that Hamilton County has a very large senior population and yet a very modest health care system. Here is where we can help total strangers safe by not overburdening their very limited resources. To that end, the Lake Pleasant Park Board has made a painful decision to postponing turning on the park water, testing our well, and opening the park. As this health crisis seems to be evolving from day to day, it's not possible at that moment to know when exactly we will open. We completely understand how disappointing this is to all our members. We love being up there. It's something we look forward to all winter, but keeping ourselves and others safe is the best move right now. Sincerely, Lake Pleasant Park Board. I thought it was awesome, Chris. This just shows how posting that letter that you and Nancy did and the county and everybody made a difference. And I actually forwarded these to the county nursing today, to Don Purdy, and also to Bill Farber, because they were concerned this letter was not enough. That's a big thing.
By sharing it on Facebook, the way you're disseminating it out. Chris puts it on Facebook. I'm sure everyone does the same as I. I'm sure my list is not exactly the same as hers, so I share it along as well. So we spread it like a virus, just like viruses spread.
Yes.
We got to keep putting the word as far out as we can.
Yep.
And it is hard because how many of us are in contact with all of our second homeowners? It's a spotty sort of channel that we have to use, but glad to hear it.
Yes, absolutely.
The more people share and like things, the more they pop up on more people's pages.
Right.
Sure.
There's some algorithm or whatever the heck they
Sure.
use in order to have that happen, but it will show up more, the top of people's pages.
Yep.
more so
Nancy-
than, you have to look for it.
Yes, Nancy and Chris, do you want me to send these to you? I did scan them, and maybe you could put them on for just encouragement for other people?
Sure, if you want them on, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean, probably a good idea. Yeah, I'll get them to
So, and
you.
then I can put a little comment thanking them.
There you go.
Thank
Right.
you for looking, taking care of us. So,
Yes,
Yeah.
looking out for us,
Mentioning
absolutely.
what a great example that is, yeah.
That absolutely is. Does anybody know this Mary Thuman? Thumann?
Florence takes care of the water and septic system at the park.
Would
So
she
she
have a,
knows who they are.
would she have a phone number for her? Because I would like to call her and personally thank her.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, see if you could get that for me, Don?
I will do that.
That will be great,
I
okay?
turn the water on there too, so.
Okay, perfect.
Not yet, not yet.
not
Not
yet.
yet. They normally open on Mother's Day, so, looking and keeping, positive, maybe they will be able to open.
That, maybe they will. That would be
Yes.
great.
Right. So that's all I have. Does anybody have anything else?
No, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so our next meeting will be May 4th,
you,
and let's
Dawn.
hope that we can be at Town Hall.
Let's
Okay.
hope indeed.
Well, Nancy, Betsy, you and I will be.
Yes, you and I will be at Town Hall. Okay. All righty, everybody,
On May
thank you.
4th. Okay.
Thanks, folks. Good-
Thank you.
Good
Good
job.
night.
Night.
Good night.
Night now.
Good night, all.
Night.
I'm done, Joe.